Good morning, neighbor. Bedhead, no makeup, barn behind me. Today we're going to talk about food banks. And I have my Be My Neighbor mug, which I thought was appropriate. I did a short video on Instagram on the fact that today a lot of people are going to be starting a journey of food and financial insecurity. Where I live in New Mexico, this could be SNAP, although I just found out our governor's going to make sure that SNAP stays in place, so we don't have to worry about that. But the other thing that's going to be a problem is we have a lot of federal workers on the bases, in the national labs here in the state, and I think as of today they are no longer being paid unless something changes. So like I said, I want to talk about food banks and how it's really important that right now, if you have the means, you give to the food banks. And also a little bit about prepping in a way that's not political, hopefully, and just makes sense. Back in December, I started laying aside a stash of food, of canned non-perishables, because at that time I was worried about tariffs and the cost of food going up, and the possibility that I might not have the income I used to have, which is true. And they really saved my tuchus in the summer when I was unemployed mostly, and I'm glad I did it. So I just set aside staples for me, right? Because I have some food allergies and sensitivities, and I know that those things are expensive. So I keep them, just so you know. I'm gonna get this, excuse me, in like weekly bins, like this. And then, like, this is a carb bin. I have my rice ramen and my bonzas in here. This is just one bin at a week or more, probably even 2 weeks really for me, of food. And I saved chili beans of all kinds. I don't really like rice too much if it's not made into something like that. So I saved up some gluten-free steel-cut oats. A lot. About 6 months worth of food. It took me about 6 months to do it. Every time I went to the grocery store, I got a few more items. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I feel like if you have the means, you have the responsibility to act. We are all a community here, and I mean, you don't have to, I guess, it's okay, but one day you might need the help yourself, and no one's going to turn you away. So if you can give a little bit to a food bank, whether that's money or food, I think it's a good time to do it right now. Things are changing fast in our country, even if it's just like how much food your paycheck can stretch to. If you are like me and you do like some of your ordering on an app, you can look back over your grocery purchases and see that just in the past 6 months how much everything has gone up. Whether that's due to tariffs or corporations corporating, it's just a reality of life. And even if you are fully employed and nothing's happening, you probably are seeing your food budget being stretched really thin. So you might say, hey neighbor, if my food budget's being stretched really thin, why are you asking me to give to food banks? And that's because right now, if if we're going to get through this, we have to get each other's backs. And when I say we're, I'm saying our communities of people who are working class people. And when I say working class people, I mean all people who actually have to go to work to live. I'm including lawyers, with plumbers, with servers, with people who are working at fast food. We're all working class people in America, and at times we need help, and at times we can give. And if you say, well, I can't give much, that's okay. If you can give 1 can of food a week, if everybody gave 1 can of food a week to these food banks, I think we would see them really thriving and helping those people who need them. And we don't know what's going to come up. The stuff that's just happened in the past 6 months, I'm blown away. I can't even fathom. And I kind of am a pessimistic person when it comes to governments and how people act once they have a little bit of power or a whole lot of wealth. And I'm still like going, oh my God, what just happened here? So I'm here to say, if at all possible, go to the grocery store today. Even if you just pick up 5 cans of food under $1 or $2, and you take that to your local food bank, that's going to be really helpful. It's going to be really helpful. I'm not even 1,000 dear, and I'm barely that. I'm barely 100 ear right now whenever I look at my actual savings account and checking account. And even I know I can add a couple of cans of food and take it to the food bank. One of the things I'd like to bring up, though, is that there's people that might need things that you aren't thinking about. For instance, people might need some gluten-free things. There's a lot of people in this country that have celiacs. So it's nice to have some of that stuff that you can bring to the food bank for people. And because I have issues of that kind, I have saved up about 6 loaves of gluten-free bread in my freezer. So before I go to the grocery store, I just pulled one out, and that's going to go into my bag for the food bank. And so is some of that you saw in the box that I just showed you. There's people out there who, they have a lot of beans and rice at food banks, I've heard. I'm not going to speak for food banks right now, but they need other things, like they need meat. And I'm not going to judge people on eating meat. I eat some meat, but I might pick up a can of Spam, or like I'm going to be bringing some tuna to today to the food bank. And another thing I'm going to be bringing to the food bank is spaghetti sauce. And I pick up weird. This is not weird for me, because I'm not Jewish. Whenever things are on clearance, I pick them up. So I have these kosher potato pancakes, and I check them, and they are 100% good till 2027. So I'm going to take that to the food bank. There's people who need kosher food in our communities who might need the food bank. I have a collection of hello. I have a collection of different types of cat food that my kitties would not eat because they're so darn picky. I'm taking that to the food bank. A lot of people surrender their animals in times of struggle because they don't have food for them. I also want to let people know that if you have an animal that needs food, check in with a local no-kill shelters. They might be able to help you out. it's worth checking before you have to suffer the heartbreak of surrendering a family member and someone you care about. Check around. I'm going to be bringing, because I am in New Mexico, just these cans of hot diced green chili. I probably use a can of these like every day to every other day in my food. If you know, you know. People like their spice. You can bring spices, and you can bring baking goods. You can bring flour. You can bring gluten-free flour. You can bring sugar. Coming up here, we're getting ready to, I don't know where it went. Well, I have it here somewhere. Anyway, we're coming up on the holidays, so I'm going to bring some canned pumpkin and that I have in the house. I always have canned pumpkin because I just like it to mix into other things, but I'm going to bring canned pumpkin. And sorry, that was a coffee burp. That was really gross. I'm sorry you guys saw that. And they say you got to start somewhere, so hopefully these will get better as I go. I don't know if anyone's even going to watch it, but I hope they do, and I'll probably make another one tomorrow. Hopefully better, saying similar stuff. Of course, people need vegetables that are non-perishable. I'm bringing some that have salt and some that don't have salt, because there's people out there on salt-restricted diets, and that could help them. And then I'm going to bring some treats, like I have some bars of chocolate that have not been opened that are nice, and hopefully someone gets a nice treat with a bar of chocolate. Why am I saying this? Because we're Americans and we should be taking care of each other. And that's what we should be doing right now. We should be fighting and arguing and paying attention to all this stuff happening up there in Washington or happening with these corporations. I'm not saying don't make political videos at all. I think that politics needs to be said and people need to educate themselves and understand the viewpoints. But right now, we're hitting a critical point where we need to start taking care of each other, because the corporations aren't going to do it, and the government's not going to do it, at least not right now. I'm 53, and in the course of my life, I haven't seen the governments or corporations really take care of anybody very meaningfully anyway. They tend to get us fighting with each other so that we can not see what they're doing. And I'm going to try to pull away from that as best I can. Again, it's not saying I don't have my things I'm angry about, honestly, at both sides of the aisle. But this isn't what we need right now. So I'm going to be trying to put together some of these really poorly made, I'm going to say old school YouTube videos, back when you just kind of sat there with your phone and tried your best, because that's what I'm doing. I have a fancy little stand I bought a long time ago that's holding this up for me so I'm not like, and my arm hurts. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I enjoyed chatting with you today. If you have any other questions, let me see here. Yeah, even if you just bring one can of food to your local food bank today, that's going to be helpful. If you're emptying out your pantry, which is a good idea to do at this time of year, and replace all those staples, and the food is expired, don't take that to the pantry. That's just a waste of time. If you're comfortable eating it, which is usually still good, eat it. The pantries typically don't pass it on. I could be wrong. In the doobly-doo, get down there and not the doobly-doo, in the comments, get down there and tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to give anyone the wrong idea or have anyone throwing away food that people could eat. You know, just don't wait for a canned food drive to get you to do this. I found 3 food banks within, you know, just a few miles of me by just saying, hey Google, where are the food banks near me? And that worked. And if that worked on your phone, you're welcome. Like none of them are more than 10 minutes, like 15 minutes away, and some are closer. Anything else? Oh yeah, so if you can then, and you've got your normal groceries you're gonna buy, this is how I saved up my stash back here in the barn. You've got your normal groceries that you're gonna buy for yourself, and you're gonna buy, I don't know, a can of tuna. If that's what you can afford, a can of tuna to take to your food bank. Buy 2 and put 1 can of tuna somewhere. I store mine in my little barn here where I store my inventory for my little flea market stuff, and then, you know, take 1 to the food bank. If you can, if you're gonna buy 5 cans or 5 bags, I keep looking at myself, I know that's gonna annoy people, like 5 bags of rice, or oats or something like that. See if you can buy 5 bags for yourself and store it, and put them in these plastic bins if you have them, or some other way to keep the critters out. You can put them in the bottom of your pantry inside. You could put them in the bottom of your coat closet, because like I said, we need to take care of ourselves as much as we take care of other people. Did I say that? I probably didn't. I say like I said a lot. What else? Yeah, your neighbor next door might need something from you, or you might need it. When I was, you know, unemployed this summer, my 6-month, I try to keep a 6-month stash of food, and then I rotate through it. So when I go grocery shopping and I need more in my house, I take it from my stash of food, and then I put the new stuff in the back of the stash of food. And that way I'm comfortable, at least when it comes to food, no matter what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna watch this and see if I'm willing to put it up. It's quite long. It might just be my practice. Either way, thanks for chatting, neighbor. I've enjoyed it. I hope that you have a full belly and a warm place to be tonight and every night through this coming winter. And I hope that you are wealthy enough to help others. That's my wish. I love you.